Guys, how are you? Bernardino here one more time. Today I have a very special guest, someone that's not only going to be a tremendous interviewee, but it's a friend, someone that I've known for years, someone that's here to share part of their life because with me today, I have motivational speaker, entrepreneur, former U.S. diplomat, and now published author, Rosibel Noemi Hernandez, here to talk about her new book, The Final Single Years, A Journey to Wholeness. Rosie, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy that you're here. I got to tell everybody, she's driven 4.5 hours?
About 4.5 hours. Absolutely. Yes.
4.5 hours for this interview. You're in it deep. I mean, you wrote this new book. It's
right.
so personal. It's about your life.
Yes.
Tell me about this new venture.
Well, it is actually my second published book. This one is very special to me because I aim at the single people. I am a single woman, never been married, in her 40s. And I just share my personal experiences to help the singles. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced. It don't matter. It's for all ages and all stages in life. And it will enable the person, equip the person to just help them in whatever life transition they're in. To thrive, not just survive.
I honestly think, Rosie, this book is so timely because we're living in a society nowadays where a lot of our values have been lost.
Yes.
The way you go about love is not the way. I remember my parents, oh my God, I'm going to write a letter. I have to wait for a response. Un corazoncito. Is she going to say yes? Now everything moves so fast.
Yes.
Everything is just,
Microwavable.
Completamente, totally. And most importantly, I think we've lost a little bit of what is, the real meaning of being in relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that nothing is perfect and you have to stick things through. People are, you get into a fight and people go into their DMs and you have, 100 different people wanting to get to know you. So you're not in it for the long run, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this book because single years, for me, you have a very strong moral character that I feel is guiding you in all of this. What really motivated you and guided you to want to really expose yourself from a personal standpoint?
Oh, yeah.
Because while it's very scary, it's very motivating.
Yes. I just feel, first and foremost, I am driven by my faith. Okay. And as you said, the character, right? The traits, those values have been lost throughout time. And I just felt led to want to share my story. I have had my challenges as a single woman, but the bottom line is I needed to be whole as a person, not broken, because there were pieces of me that were broken from my past, from my childhood, from heartbreak. And I went through traumas and triggers. I went through counseling, and our Latino community or any community thinks that counseling or therapy is
you gotta be crazy.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
Está loco.
It's a resource. It's a tool.
Right.
And so I talk about it in the book because it's okay to go to counseling. Nobody thinks you're crazy.
But let's
you're investing in yourself.
And I love what you're saying. But let's go back a second because you mentioned something that's so powerful, and it's about being whole.
Yes.
A lot of the times, people nowadays, they look to make themselves whole with someone else.
That's right.
Whereas you're probably saying that's not the way to do it. You have to be whole yourself.
Yes.
You have to be happy yourself in order to really be fulfilled.
That's right. And I went through some trials, tribulations. I had things that I had to work on, like my control issues, like my temper, like wanting things my way or no way. And that's not how things work. You have to be able to interact with somebody else who has a different mindset than you.
But don't you think that that's part of that self-preservation, that kind of protectiveness? Because when you come from trauma, you don't want to go through it, so you start controlling your environment in order to avoid that pain that you went through.
That's right.
So it takes someone with a certain level of maturity to understand where you come from.
Yes.
And why you are acting the way you're acting, because at the end of the day, I went through a tremendous bad breakup, And I know what you're talking about because now when I meet someone, I'm on guard. Right?
Yep.
And I'm on guard because really at the end of the day, and I'll admit it here, I don't want to get hurt like that again ever in my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I went through a heartbreak in 2004 and it paralyzed me in fear. And it took me to depression for a whole year. And and it took me to comparison. Wait a minute. He picked her, cubic zirconia, over a diamond? And it hurt my ego, disrespected my family. It took me years to get over that. And like you said, I was on guard. Wait a minute. I'm going to break up with them before they break up with me. And there you have it. That is a fear. And too many people have been paralyzed due to fear.
Something that I want us to talk about that is extremely important when it comes to breakup is that in your case, you felt hurt. You felt betrayed. You felt like he wasn't valuing who you are.
That's right. Yep.
But let me tell you something. This is what I've also learned. When the man upstairs takes that person away from you, it's because that person may not be deserving of you. It's because that person doesn't see the diamond that they have in front. So if that person doesn't see that diamond, guess what? It's your loss, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
And we know that. But I want to go back to, well, how do you deal with heartbreak? How do you do, because that caused trauma and triggers, right?
Absolutely.
And so I had to go to therapy for that. I had to look at myself and not compare myself to anyone.
Yes.
It hurt my ego. I didn't cry. It's weird because I didn't cry, but I went.
You're not a crier.
Well, now I am. You know, I don't care if to cry. A good cry is therapeutic.
It's very healthy to cry.
Yeah, it's very healthy. And so it took years for me to completely heal and be whole from that situation where I was no longer scared of commitment. Yeah.
Again, is allowing yourself to be whole again.
Yes.
Because we allowed someone to be in our personal space and fill a part of us that we felt was, and it's natural. That's what I also want to emphasize. It's natural that when you let someone in your personal space, in your heart, for them to occupy that space. It's meant to be like that.
Yes.
It's when that person doesn't value the penthouse that they're living in, right?
Yes.
And decides to take off in the middle of the night, that you're like, whoa, what happened?
Yes. And once again, we have to be vulnerable, right? Because I had to learn to be vulnerable again. And you start to have your own standards. People will challenge you in your stand. Oh, wait a minute. Why are you picky? Well, you don't know what I've been through. I'm healed. I'm whole. But I'm now, like you said earlier, mature. Mature love.
You told me something off camera that I thought was so powerful, that someone close to you said, your problem is you're setting your standards too high, or something to the effect.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you were told that?
Well, I will say this, and I'm sure viewers will absolutely probably relate to this. But as a single woman in her 40s, never been married, no kids, right? Not to say I don't want those things, because I do. But
single gentlemen, this is the time.
Single, ready to mingle. So, I've had to have people say things in my face that were mean, that were hurtful, and I had to brush it off. But at the same token, I'm like, Lord, I give this to you. This is not my timeline or society. For example, we're Latinos, okay? By now, in my early 20s, I was expected to get married and have a few kids. Instead, I chose to finish my education and to choose a career that took me all over the world, right? Completely different path. Completely.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And then I would have family members say, te va a dejar el tren. Está bien, llevo el avión.
Yes.
Oh, the train's going to leave you. That's okay. I'm going to get the plane. That's okay. Or you'll have, my parents used to say, back when I did date in the early 20s, I want, especially my dad, quiero un Latino. I want you to marry a Latino. Now, in my late 40s, they're like, is he breathing? Does he have a pulse? We'll take anything.
Yes.
And then you have other folks.
But again, it's going back to the belief that in order for you to be happy, you must have another human being in your life.
No.
It's like the belief, and this is not, I'm trying not to get off topic, but it's like the belief that in order for you to be happy, you must have kids. I've learned that that's not necessarily the case.
No.
You know?
No. You
Happiness
happy
lies
you.
within.
That's right. And wholeness. Because here's the thing. If you're broken and that person's broken, what do you have?
Right.
A broken relationship.
Yes.
So that's old patterns, old mindset. So that's what I talk about the book also, is you cannot go into the new until you get rid of the old. And you cannot have that mindset going into the new either. And so what do we have? We have a transition where you're stuck. You're stuck and you don't know how to move forward because of fears. So I talk about those things because I went through them and I overcame them. So, yeah.
Let's talk about, because I was told very early on, if you really want to learn about life, you must travel.
Yes.
And there's nothing more powerful, and I'll share with everyone at home, there's nothing more powerful and eye-opening than to travel.
Yes.
And see other countries and see other cultures and how they communicate and how they socialize. How has that played a role in your healing process, in writing this book, in being the woman that you are today? Yeah.
So as stated earlier, I actually lived and served in 6 countries, you know. And one of them was Mexico City, the land of machismo, margaritas, and mariachis. I also lived in the Middle East. And so those are very male-dominated societies. Here I am, a single woman. Well, I had to learn a lot. Because even if I wanted to go to the mechanics, for example, while I was living in Jerusalem, I lived in East Jerusalem, mainly Palestinians, and I worked in West Jerusalem, mainly Israelis, right? So if I want to go to the mechanics, guess what? I had to take my dad, or I had to take a male friend, or someone.
Because they won't even speak to you, right?
Well, the treatment is different, very different. And in Mexico, there was machismo there too. So that really humbled me, I would say, because as a strong, independent woman, you need certain lessons, I would say, right? Because it's not always our way all the time. And that's something I've had to learn. But these environments and cultures and learning the languages, oh my goodness, it molded me, it shaped me, and it matured me.
In my life, I don't do anything unless I speak to God first, right? I think when you're a person of faith, that pushes you to find new opportunities, and it keeps you from the opportunities and the people that are not good for you and your life.
That's right. Yes.
Let's talk about the power of prayer, because that's part of it written in the book, and what role it plays in your life and in the writing of the book.
So prayer is everything to me. I don't do anything unless the Lord says go.
Amen.
And if he says time's up, your time here is done.
And
Time's up.
Listen, this is so important. You just mentioned that. Many of us don't see when something has met its
time. Yep.
Time.
It's season.
That's it. Everything has an expiration date. Everything. Your friendships, a job, everything.
Everything.
Now, can we overstay? All the time.
We have the option to overstay.
Right? But when you overstay, when the good Lord is telling you, listen, your time is up, grab your things and move on, because we're being human and we're not listening, then you have to face the piper. And if things don't go the way you want them to go, it's because you're not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And you miss opportunities. You miss
the real
growth.
Opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. Because not everybody is going to they're not meant to be in every season.
Yes.
And what happened and
Yes.
what worked in the previous season is not going to work moving forward. And in life, we have transitional moments. We have growth. We have, just different times. And here's the thing. While it's scary, that transitional moment, while it's uncertain, when God closes a door, you cannot force him to open it. He wants you to move forward.
Yes.
To
Yes.
enjoy what he has ahead of you.
Yes.
But too many people get stuck in the past because they're scared to move forward. Where is that fear coming from?
100%. Also, I think that ego plays a very important part in all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look bad in front of my family. I don't want to look bad in front of my coworkers. I don't want to look bad in front of society.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stay in this situation because of embarrassment, because it affects my ego, because of the way it's going to portray me with others, right? When in fact, you're probably keeping yourself, because nobody keeps you from anything but yourself. You're keeping yourself from a greater experience in life, from a greater opportunity. And that's what actually God wants for you, but you're not doing it because we all have free will.
That's right.
Which is very dangerous, right?
Thank you, brother. Absolutely. You said it. Free will. So that's where I say you're stuck in old ways and old patterns, but you have the free will to move forward. And God will help you. God will equip you. He will bring the right connections around you. And I am living proof of that. Connections matter.
Amen. Always.
Yes.
Always. 78% of the work that we find is because of someone we know.
That's right. That's
But,
right.
you've been super transparent in this book and in this interview.
Yeah.
But in that transparency, and we kind of just touched on it, comes fear, right? Because you're putting yourself out there completely, right?
I don't hold back.
You don't hold
I
back.
do not hold back. No.
But was there any part of the book that you were hesitant to write about?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to share it with everyone here. It's in the book, but I want to share it here because I think it's important.
Give us a teaser. Give us a teaser, sister.
Early on, I made the decision as a single teen, actually, very early, I decided that I would wait until marriage. So I am a virgin. I'm a 40-plus-year-old virgin that I am not ashamed.
I see a movie coming out. I see a movie. Latina, the Latina version.
Yes, because it's not talked about enough.
Yes.
It's like if you choose that, there's nothing to be ashamed about.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I have, and not to say I was innocent. No, I had my time back in the day, but I always have it in the back of my mind. Like, I want to save this. It's mine, it's
Right.
something special, and I want to wait until I get married to do that. And so I talk that, I discuss that in the book. And I also talk about even if you're not a virgin and you're trying to, or you made mistakes, it's okay. God can still restore and give you a new beginning. That's it. And because here's the thing, I just want to talk a little bit about. It was a Saturday. I was typing that out, and I was like, do I really put this in here? Oh, because I'm really putting myself out there. That was Saturday. By like Monday, it was like a fear. It was like the enemy. It was like I started to get these thoughts like, you sure you want to put that in there? And I started to get a little anxiety. I'm like,
Sure.
oh my God, I'm putting that for real out there. But what the heck am I afraid of?
There's nothing more liberating than just opening yourself.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And
it can
if
help
someone
others.
has any moral compass, they would go, wow, Rosibel, I take my hat off to you, right? And
Yeah.
I admire, because how many women, with all due respect to the women that I know, I don't know any woman that has been able to be as strong-willed as you, right?
Nothing but God.
But
Nothing but God.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because of who is guiding you, who
Yes.
you let guide you in your life.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that if you wanted to have sex, there's been plenty opportunities, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's up to the person, whether you're a man or woman, it's up to you whether you're going to open that door to that person or not. I mean, I've been in situations where even married men have tried me.
Of course.
And I'm like, no, you can keep walking. I got Jesus. I don't need,
Exactly.
I got that because I value the covenant of marriage.
Yes.
And if I do that to another woman, I don't want that to be done to me.
Sure.
You know, and so marriage is not being respected in today's society.
Let me tell you, you are one in a million. I think you are just an amazing human being.
Thank you.
We need more ladies, not women, more ladies like you in society, because when we take a look what's happening and the way that society is being managed, we've lost a lot of values.
Yeah. And I just want to say, and I'm sorry, I want to say that my book covers that you're not just going to survive, but thrive in whatever season you're in.
Yes.
In whatever season
Yes.
you're in. And if you have to reinvent yourself, if you have to make yourself, because here's the thing, as God was making these changes in me, you know, I was evolving as a person. And even my family was like, what's wrong with you? Are you depressed? Are you, what? No, this is who I am now.
Yes.
You know, my mom even wanted me to buy a dog because she thinks I was depressed. And I'm like, well, who going to take care of it? Oh, you trying to trick me? You know, like, no, that's who I am now.
Yes.
And people will either accept the new you or not.
Well, and as you know, because you're tremendously bright, any human being that has been outstanding in our society throughout history have been people that have said, no, I'm going to do things the way that I think is right. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the consequences, regardless of what it costs me. Mm-hmm. And that's what you have done. You have stood by your moral grounds and you have said, this is how I want to live my life. And I support it 1,000,000%. I think this book is phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to read this book. Please share with everyone how they can find this book.
This book is now online for online purchase, Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And also, I will be having a book launch in October, but the book is now available for purchase. And I'm so excited. And please, if you do pick up your copy, which I strongly encourage you to do so, write a review, recommend it to a friend, share it, buy a few copies. Just share it. People need to read this book.
It's an exceptional human being sharing their exceptional human story. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know her as a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, a former diplomat, a published author. But I want you to know, I know her as my friend, Rosibel Noemi Hernandez. So much fun having you here today. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Bernardino, hasta la próxima.